So I am Latasha with Awards Buzz. Such a pleasure to meet the three of you. Oh,
Nice to
I'm
meet
here
you.
for the smiles. Luke, I would like to start with you because you seem to really enjoy playing the role as a deputy.
Yeah, I enjoyed doing the film. I enjoyed working with Ari and with Michael and with Joaquin. I didn't really enjoy being Guy, to be honest. I think, which is interesting because normally when you pick a character, you're picking it based on like there's something there I want to explore, or there's something I like about this person or look up to in this character.
Yeah.
And I did this because I wanted to work with Ari and with Joaquin and with Michael, and be in this movie with this great cast, and the story is what attracted me.
Yeah.
But I knew going in, like, there's obviously some sort of unsavory elements to this guy, and some things that maybe aren't going to be as fun to explore. And so yeah, I think and actually watching Joaquin was really helpful because he's so good at that. He's made an entire career off playing sort of the darkness in people, and sort of relishing and maybe the darker corners of their personality. So yeah, I learned a lot, I'll say that much.
With this, you're not necessarily taking a huge liking to your character Guy, have anything to do with specific scenes such as, framing or suspecting your colleague Michael, to be the one behind the murder, and revisiting George Floyd and the rioting. And
I just don't think Guy likes himself very much, and because of that, you get some things that come out of him, like the framing, or like sort of, just some things that he's trying to figure out that he doesn't understand, and he's doing that by starting to point the finger, and I think a lot of people do that, and they sometimes don't understand why they do that, and it's and it's a lot of what the movie's about, which is like, if there's this thing we're all afraid of, how do we deal with that fear? And a lot of people in this film use manipulation and use the fear as a way to manipulate people into getting what they want.
Was there any sense of urgency around the timing of pushing it out and sharing this story with the world? And if so, why is that?
Well, the urgency really was at the moment, or the urgency was in the moment. Of lockdown, and wanting to get it on paper, wanting to get what I was feeling and what I was seeing on paper, and try to pull back as much as I could to really describe the atmosphere, the environment, more than make an ideological screed or just focus on one point of view. I wanted to zoom as far back as possible and just give a picture of what the country was looking like and feeling like to me, and kind of take an almost sociological stance.
Absolutely.
And so it was really about not wanting to lose what it felt like. So getting it on paper, then I made Beau is Afraid, then I came back to it while I was editing that to rewrite it, to polish it, and then I came back out to New Mexico, which is where I'm from, and where I grew up. And I drove around New Mexico, went to different small towns, talked to sheriffs, police chiefs, mayors, public officials, and just tried to get as broad a picture of the climate, the political climate, in New Mexico as possible, and just get it right. It's a state that I know really well, and I've always wanted to make a film about the Southwest. But it was great to really get to know the state that I'm from better.
You and Guy shared the same role. You were also a deputy, but not only was that your character, you were also a Black man in these shoes during such troubling times. And I want to talk about the emotional impact that this project and this story has had on you, because so much was unveiled, so many different topics and real life instances were touched upon. Racial biases, police brutality, the rioting, the murder framing, the list goes on and on and on. So how were you impacted emotionally?
As a character? Or
yes, as actually both, personally and professionally.
I think for me it was definitely difficult. I remember we had like so many discussions, like trying to figure out what felt right instinctively, and what my instincts and what Michael's instincts, well Michael as well, but what Michael Cook's instincts are
Yes.
different things, because obviously instincts are created by nuance, and obviously him being a young black man growing up in small town America, and he's just got a different idea of life than I do per se, but I'd say that what was most difficult was trying to show emotion and thinking about how it would land with people, as opposed to just playing the truth of what could happen, or what we wanted to tell with our story. And ultimately, the greatest resolve of that was to just get lost in Ari Aster's world. Because the world that he creates is very unique, and also just very like tantalizing in a way, you know what I mean, where you feel so where it just feels very intense. But yeah, like there was many scenes where we just had a lot of discussion. It was very hard, and obviously that being away from home, being in America for a long period of time, all of those kind of things that fell into it as well. But I had great support from Ari, from Luke as well. Like a lot of my time I spent with Luke outside of filming, and also Joaquin. You get what I'm trying to say? No one ever made me feel like I couldn't speak if I felt something and stuff like that. And it also, and having that environment around you allows you to just be your best creatively.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I feel like I can sit here and talk with you guys all day long. Thank you so much.